So yeah, we're going to take the brakes off now. This is the brake fluid line. We'll take that off first. We've got our little bowl down here to catch everything. And then we've got to take these two nuts off here. And then just yank the caliper off like that, and like everything else in this bike, these are absolutely bogging, but that's okay because they won't be for too long. Alright folks, so I was having some issue with this particular bolt right here. It will not budge no matter what I do with it, and you can see it's ended up a little bit rounded as well. Maybe you can see that there. So what we're going to do today is try and get this off, and to do that I've bought this kit here. These bolt grips they're called, and what these do, you hammer this on to the bolt that won't move, and apparently it grips it and it will take it off. So hopefully that's going to be the case, because this is going to be an absolute disaster if I can't get this off. I'm going to put the camera down here. So yeah, this is really critical. This is going to be a really difficult thing to fix if we can't get this sorted. Oh, come on. Really stressed out about this now. Okay, that's pretty tight. Let's give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, it's turning! Brilliant! Oh my goodness, that's such a massive relief. I thought this was going to be a huge issue. And actually, oh wow. Oh, it's so good. I've got new bolts of these. Which are made of titanium, cause race spec and all that. Like, I wonder with these bolts, is a bit like kind of race spec, a bit kind of similar to the way they call like military grade aluminium and stuff. And it doesn't really mean anything. It's quite possibly the case. But anyway, so we got that off now, and the caliper then a little bit stiff. It should just come off. Brilliant, and that's both calipers off the front now, so that's real progress. Really good with that. So if you're ever stuck and you can't get a bolt off, it's one of those bolts, this is the kit. That actually worked really well. Bought that from Amazon, like a tenner I think it was, maybe less. And yeah, what a fantastic job. That worked so well. Like, you never know with these little things whether they're going to work or not, but that was just fantastic. Really happy with that. And yeah, just while we're here, have a little look. You can see I've done a lot of cleaning on the bike. A lot of all this wiring's a mess. This was all covered in grime. There's still a bit of grime there. You can see, you know, little bits of dirt on there. So still a fair bit of cleaning to go, but got a long way in terms of cleaning. Like, it's looking really good. You know, just been doing a little bit every day. Feel like we're really getting somewhere now. This was a real big deal, this brake caliper. So we can get we're just going to remove the caliper retention pin, which is this boil here. Sometimes you can just push it out. I might need a little tool just to give it a bit of a whack. But yeah, oh, I can't tell you how relieved I am. I was so worried about that. that it was going to be impossible. I didn't know what I was going to do to try and do something about that. You see, you get that out and the calipers just, the brake pads just fall out. And there's our caliper, which is actually reasonably clean. I'm just going to give it a brief clean, in particular around these pistons, because I don't want to get anything stuck down in there. So I'm going to give it a brief clean so I can get the pistons out of the way, and then I'm going to give it a blast, this one and the other one, with the old power hose, and then we'll do a final little clean on them as well. I'm so tempted to paint these because it went so well last time, but I'm not really sure whether that's a good idea. Hello folks, so we're back in the brakes now, and yeah, these are the two front calipers here. These are the pads that we're putting on. I'm also going to replace the bleed nipple, which is what these things are. One of these is for the rear, we're not doing that today. So pads and brake nipple. Right, that's a bit better. So yeah, bleed nipple first. Just going to take that off using a little mini socket set jobby. As I said before, this is a fantastic little piece of kit, and wasn't expensive either, so that was nice. 20 quid or something from B&Q. Now these can be a bit tight sometimes, but actually this one's nice and loose. That's what we like. Just changing these because they're corroded. You know, you can see there they're not in great shape. So yeah. Now, as I said, one of these is rear and two of them are front. So I should be able to tell which ones are the front ones just by finding the one that's different. That's the one that's different. So this is the front one. And this is like, you know, really simple. That's just going in there like that. And same thing then for this other caliper. You see that? Okay, so yeah, we're just putting that in there, and then it screws in. No need to tighten them too tight. Just tight enough so it's not going to, like, you know, fly out or anything like that. So that's fine there. And then we're going to put the brake pads in. This is again fairly straightforward. We have our two pads here, and we have got a springy boy, nice and clean, and a caliper retention pin. So these pads go in here, go in there, the pin goes across to hold them in place, and then the spring kind of dampens them down. Now this spring, I'm not sure exactly which way around this goes. Let's see, the caliper is going to go on the bike like that. Like that. So that's probably the way that goes in there. Let me just look this up quickly. And hopefully I can just get a picture of them fitted. There we go. So that's the caliper like that, and that little arrow goes up that way. Right, well, that's what I figured. Right, okay, so let's get these in. Now I've got the pistons just pushed out of the way, so because there's no absolutely zero brake fluid in the system now because I took it all out. Get this done. Spring goes in on top there. There we go. Just need to push down on the spring to get it in place. And there we go. It's as simple as that. There's a nice shiny new pads. Now, you know, they're not going to sit in place here because it's the you know, once they're on the bike, then they'll go properly. But you can see there they're fitted in there and are nice clean pads. Tension pins keeping them in place, and then there's just two of these little clips which pop into these little holes on the retention pin on there, and one there. There we go, complete, ready to go on the bike. Okay, wonderful. And then the same thing for the other one. That's our pin. You know, it's really nice to be doing stuff. I probably have said this before already, but it's nice to be doing stuff that's kind of like going in the right direction. You know, I'm really aware that everything that I've been doing, most of the things that I've been doing so far are, you know, taking stuff apart, and every little thing that I take apart, I'm like, I really hope I'm going to be able to put that back together and remember where everything goes. I've got a bunch of screws lying about now, which are flipping, I haven't a clue. Half of them I'm like, I don't know where that's from, and you know, so starting to freak out a little bit. Not freaking out just yet, but you know, a little bit concerned about you know, just continually taking stuff apart, and you know, everything's got to go back together, and yeah, you know, I mean, just naturally a bit concerned about you know, being able to remember where everything goes. So yeah, it's just, you know, that's just one of those things. That's what I find with the stuff that I've done with the scrambler as well. You know, is like things tend to be quite straightforward, but there's definitely, you know, a level of stress which is just whenever you're doing stuff and you're like, you know, I hope I can do this the other way, and I hope it's not a disaster, and I hope I'm not going to end up with a bike in bits that I can't sort out or can't fix. It hasn't happened yet, thankfully, but you know, where I am now with this bike is way beyond anything I've ever done before. A scrambler or anything like that, way beyond. I mean, way beyond. And as I said, there's loads of bits now, and there's loads of screws lying about, and different bits and pieces. I hopefully know where everything goes and have a fair idea where everything goes. And time will tell. You know, we're just going to do it one step at a time. No need to freak out. But anyway, so there we go. There's our nice new pads in our nice clean calipers, all ready to go for the front of the bike. Anyway, I haven't taken the rear one off yet. Nice new bleed nipples on there as well. So you can see that's a really simple thing to do. I'd totally do this yourself. You know, if you've got one of these bikes, like, don't be paying somebody to change your brake pads. It's such an easy process that you know, you can do all this leaving these on the bike, and then you don't have to bleed anything or anything like that either. But yeah, there we go. I'm so tempted to paint these, by the way, because if you've seen the scrambler ones, I painted them red and they came out amazingly well. The paint was incredible stuff, like, and they look beautiful. I'm really tempted to kind of do a similar thing with these. Maybe just, you know, like they're matte black, so maybe matte black again. I've so much on my plate right now with the R6 and everything that I've done so far. I don't want to start doing more stuff. Maybe that's something for the future, but yeah. Anyway, so there we go. That's nice and simple and nice and straightforward. The last little thing then is just to put on these little caps, which you know, will be. Oh, in fact, that's upside down. Just put on these little nipple caps. And they're very tight fitting, which is good. You know, we don't want them coming off, so that's fine. I'll get that one on there as well. Happy days. There we go. Job done, happy days. So yeah, I've got the brakes on the bike now. Let's have a closer look. You can see down here, the wind noise got really bad here, so I'm just doing a wee bit of a voiceover for this. So you can see the calipers on the bike. We've got our lovely race spec titanium caliper bolts holding it on there, and the new brake lines look absolutely wonderful as well, I must say. While I was doing all this, I figured I might as well replace the reservoir as well. Really, I want everything in this kind of cockpit area to be as new looking and as fine looking as possible, because this is what the rider sees when they're on the bike. Done a lot of reconditioning work in this, new grips and stuff like that as well. It's all looking really good, I must say. Really happy with the way these have all come out. Still got a few little cables and stuff to attach at this point, but yeah, this is looking really good, and the rest of the cockpit incidentally looks really good as well, and it will once I get it on there. Really happy to get these on. This really feels like progress, you know. I mean, it's kind of like everything I've been doing so far is just taking the bike apart, and every time I do that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be able to put this back together. I'm just digging myself into a hole here that I'm never going to get out of. But now, you know, getting stuff like this back on the bike, it's like, yes, we're moving in the right direction. It really feels like getting closer to that magical point where we get this thing on the road. There's no rush, and honestly, probably wouldn't want to ride it in January or February anyway, because the road conditions will be rubbish and the sun's really low in the sky, so it's hard for people to see you and all that kind of stuff. So there's no rush, but yeah, it's just really nice to be moving in that direction, and you know, not freaking out about, you know, I've been doing stuff here that I'm not going to be able to do. All in all, the brakes are pretty easy. Wasn't difficult at all. The only difficult bit, as you've seen before, was when the caliper bolt was stuck, and I mean, that was stressful, because like I was like, if I can't get that bolt out, I mean, what am I going to do? Is this just the end of this project? You know, because it's catastrophic. But as you saw, got it out eventually. Really good to learn that skill as well, and to learn that that's how you do that, because you know, we come across that occasionally anyway. So yeah, it's been a really good process so far. Bike's just looking great. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get this thing on the road. Like, I've been kind of, when I bought it, I was like, you know, maybe I'll just kind of ride it a little bit, and then I'll sell it, and you know, maybe make a little bit of money on it, and then move on to the next bike or whatever. And now I'm kind of like, you know, I can see myself riding this every day, which I'm not going to do, incidentally. It's not really a road bike, and you know, you got to be realistic. You can't spend too much time on a bike like this on the little roads that you have around here. You know, you're rolling the dice, and you know, sooner or later you're going to end up with 666 and, you know, the inside of an ambulance or something like that. So, you know, it's not really a road bike. Going to have to take it very, very easy anytime I do have it on the road. But you know, really looking forward just to getting out there. Looking forward to hearing it start for the first time, you know, and getting out there. Probably going to get some new tires for it as well, I think. But yeah, really excited. It's been ups and downs, you know, like this process, that's the way it is. And there's been times I've been thinking, oh, this is a huge mistake, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then there's other times where I'm kind of buzzing, and you know, you just have to try and keep yourself pretty level. But I am buzzing today because the brakes are on, and it feels great to kind of like, you know, move forward. Yeah, so that's it for the first episode then of the recovery of the R6. Plenty more to come. Got some cool stuff coming up next. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for watching as always. See you soon, and take care.